Do you want to learn how to do this? This is Spear Mace. Probably Minecraft's most modern and up-to-date game mode out there, while also probably being one of the strongest game modes there are. Let's check out what we need for this. You really only need two items for this. Number one being the spear, and number two being the mace, hence Spear Mace. Let's take a look at the most fundamental part of Spear Mace. Attribute swapping. Attribute swapping is when you take the properties of one item and add the enchantments of the other. And we can do the same thing with the spear. With the spear, the lunge has a really long cooldown, which is not ideal for when you're spear macing. But by using attribute swapping, the community has discovered a way to travel at lightning speeds. And it's called cooldown skipping. Cooldown skipping is pretty simple. All you gotta do is take a low cooldown item, in my case, wax weathered cockcopper stairs, and in the same tick that you're gonna switch to your spear, you're gonna left click to activate the lunge. And this is how tier 1 spear mace players do crazy stuff like this. Alright, so now that we talked about cooldown skipping and the fundamentals of Spear Mace, now we can move on to the fun stuff, like D-tapping. D-tapping is kind of like using the spear as a mace, and then also using a mace to pop them twice. It's confusing, I'll show you. A common misconception with the spear is that you have to be moving horizontally for it to activate its damage multiplier. This is not true. Any form of movement and momentum will activate the multiplier. So, for example, falling from a nice height, that will pop them. This is how D-tapping works. Essentially, all we're doing is using the spear as a mace, and then hitting them with our mace. And the final spear mace technique I'm going to be teaching you today is pearl catching. Pearl catching is pretty simple and straightforward. All you gotta do is throw a pearl in the air and throw a wind charge directly after it to basically hit the pearl, causing you to teleport. You can do an upward pearl catch to get a ton of height, so your mace attack does a ton of damage. But there's another form of pearl catching. It's a lot better and a lot more overpowered, and a lot harder. And this is horizontal pearl catching. The reason horizontal pearl catching is so good is because if your enemy is far away and you don't want to waste your hunger to get to them, you can just perform a sideways pearl catch, get directly on top of them, and then mace them. So, future Vecchio here. I kind of forgot to mention the most important part of spear macing, which is the actual macing. But I kind of forgot to talk about the fact that you have a mace. But anyways, here that is. A common thing that people do in spear mace is instead of going from spear, mace, attack, they go spear, attribute swap, mace attack. And what this does is it allows you to get an extra 1.5 blocks of reach, which might not sound like a lot, but trust me, it is a lot. This might seem like an extra step that's not that important, but in a real match, this is crucial, because spear mace is all about speed, and regular macing is simply just not fast enough. If this tutorial helped out at all, then please consider liking and subscribing. It's free and it helps out a ton. Alright, bye. Okay, I can do this. Oh my gosh. I'm trash! Okay, so like... Ah!